I actually have time now. So I'm gonna film this and I'm gonna edit it and I'm gonna post it. And I won't suck anymore. It's June. In July. It's July. Okay. And I thought it was about time that incoming freshmen might be wondering about UCLA. By this time you've already committed, you know you're coming here, so it's not like a should you come to UCLA or not, like pros and cons. Because if you end up hating this video, like I'm sorry, you're stuck. You can transfer if you want later, but we're gonna get ready today, even though I'm going nowhere. So I've already moisturized. I just got this like Neutrogena Hydro Boost Hyaluronic Acid Moisturizer with sunscreen, which is good because I need moisturizer. My skin is so dry because I don't drink water. I drink coffee. I don't really use concealer or primer or any of that. I just kind of go straight in with this L'Oreal. Why is there so much of a glare? You get the idea. It's a L'Oreal True Match Nude Hyaluronic Tinted Serum. I guess I'm really into hyaluronic acid. I didn't even know. Just a few drops, like so. And then I'm gonna blend it with a beauty blender that I haven't cleaned in 6 months. That's really bad for my skin, I'm 100% sure. I think I want to talk about being a pre-med at UCLA. Being pre-med's hard. It feels like it's just a gigantic race to med school, and it's really not. Like, it feels like that, especially at a school like as big as UCLA, where there's some statistic out there that we send the most med school applications every year. It'd be a little bit overwhelming, and I don't want any of you to be overwhelmed, even though it will be inevitable. I'm then gonna go in with this NYX Wonder Stick because I'm really into nose contour. I feel like it makes the biggest difference. And then I really try and like emphasize the tip of my nose. Like, I want the tip to look like it's up here and not actually up here. I don't know if it works, but pretend that the illusion is there. You can apply to med school with pretty much any major you want. I've heard of humanities majors applying to med school, and they just like took a bunch of science classes too. You could also be like, I know a lot of people are into psychology. They major in psychology, which I've heard is a major with a little bit less requirements. But that's the other thing you might want to consider. Interest, of course, I think should be the most important, because if you're passionate about your field, then that's a given, like duh. But also there are some majors that are notoriously difficult. Neuro, you're gonna have to take a lot of physics classes, and I personally am not a physics person. I kind of hate physics, so I didn't go for neuro, even though I kind of found it interesting. And then I'm gonna take this like the NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil, and then I use it to kind of like highlight the nose bridge, the tip, and then like the inside corners of my eyes. I have heard that MIMG has the most difficult science class at UCLA. It's MIMG 185, I want to say. It's immunology. Apparently that one is disgusting, and it's inevitably in the cards for me. Also, I blend things with the tip of my finger. Just get ready with me. It's really dysfunctional. Don't use it as a makeup tutorial. But yeah, so the thing about being pre-med at UCLA is they don't really do a super great job of telling you like exactly what you need to do. I didn't know a lot of med schools ask for you to take a psychology and a sociology class. MIMG doesn't require me to take psych or soc, but a lot of med schools do prefer that you do. If you took AP Psych in high school, you're probably good for the psychology requirement. I would also highly recommend making a 4-year plan. There's no guarantees that you're gonna stick to your 4-year plan, because enrollment is so terrible. Enrollment is so bad because classes just like fly off the market faster than you can even freaking blink, okay? It's very possible that you're not gonna get the class that you want in the quarter that you want, but there's workarounds. Like, you can always like enroll later and just kind of watch it like a hawk to see if someone drops, and then just kind of like slide in there really fast, like a ninja. But in any case, I do think making a 4-year plan is helpful. Just giving you a direction so you feel a little bit better about knowing where you need to be at a certain point in time. Your major doesn't really matter. I don't necessarily think that one major is more advantageous when you're applying to med school over another major. Consider what you're most interested in learning about first, or like considering how much of a workload you want, because like I said, some STEM majors are easier than others, and maybe you want a little bit more of a work-life balance. Maybe you want to get more involved in extracurriculars, or like, you know, dedicate your time to maybe research. Maybe you want to do research really, really seriously. And so it would be better for you to choose a major that will allow you to put as much time into research as you want. Which brings us to our next point. I will get to that after I figure out what I'm gonna do next. Let's go with eyeliner. e.l.f. H2O proof eyeliner pen. Shake it up a little bit. And then I like to start from like the last like third of my outer corner and then just kind of like draw a line wherever my heart takes me. That's pretty good. I got into research pretty early and that was almost sheer luck. So I was in a club freshman year, like fall quarter. I attended one of the guest speaker panels that they put together for women in STEM. On that panel was a PI and she talked about how her lab designs like CAR T cells, like engineers CAR T cells for cancer therapy. And I was like, oh my God, that's kind of cool. I kind of want to learn more about that. And also I had like a cancer research internship in high school too. So already I was like, okay, maybe my background in history will be a little bit like conducive to the work that she's doing and maybe she's more likely to take me. Literally, I cornered her. I cornered her after that panel. I was like, hi, you know, like I'd love to learn more about the work that you do at your lab. I tried to make it conversational and not like I really just wanted to talk to her so she would offer me a position later. I tried to talk to her like she was actually like, you know, gonna give me advice for like MIMG as a major because she's also in the department of MIMG. And basically my intention was for her to be able to put a name to a face when I cold emailed her later, like 2 weeks later. You know, I sent my cover letter, I sent my resume. I got so lucky. She replied like a week later. I totally thought she was gonna ditch me, but she said none of the grad students in her lab were willing to train an undergrad, but that they do have a vet tech who was willing to train me in like mouse studies, and then hopefully by the time I get experience and like I'm not like a complete baby who needs like constant supervision, maybe by then a grad student will be willing to take me under their wing. And so in my head, I was like, okay, that's not quite what I wanted because I was under the impression that I'd just be like doing vivarium work and like killing mice, you know, and that didn't necessarily entice me or invite me because I wanted to do cancer research. But I was like, you know, it's an in. It's like a foot in the door. I'll take what I can get because I know people who have emailed like 20 professors and it's just, it's so hard to get into a lab because there's so much demand. Well, lesson number 1, be proactive, seize every opportunity. Lesson number 2, like take what you can get. So that's how I joined the lab. I started out in the vivarium and then like a couple months later, near spring quarter, a grad student was like, oh my God, like, sure, you don't annoy me, so I'll work with you. I'm gonna go in with mascara now because I have Asian eyelashes and they need to be fluffed and volumized and lengthened, all the good stuff. L'Oreal, telescopic. Also make sure to tailor the research that you get into like to your interests because like you don't want to be stuck in a lab and hate what you're doing. Like you find it so boring and you don't want to go because that's not productive, right? I would try and find labs as soon as possible. Always better to start early. That way, you dedicate a lot more time in the lab. Like it took me so long to like lose the training wheels because there's just so many scientific concepts that like a smarter person than me would pick up like really quickly, but I take my time to understand things. And so like it wasn't until literally 6 months ago maybe, and I've been in the lab for 2 school years now, but it wasn't until very recently that I actually started to grasp what was going on and be able to contribute more than just like menial labor. And also that way I can say that I've shown commitment to this lab, I've shown commitment to this research. Please tell me I don't look dumb right now, because I always... Also, if you already know you don't like research, that is totally okay because a lot of med schools, and you can like look when you're applying, you can look at the med school mission statement, you can see the types of applicants, they attract the applicants that they desire. You can see if they really put an emphasis on research because some schools don't. Some schools really value clinical experience and volunteering and community service and showing that you're passionate about caring for people, not necessarily in a research setting. I think research is cool, but it's definitely not for everyone. Some people really hate it. If you decide not to do any research in undergrad and instead dedicate your time to things that you find more fulfilling and worthwhile, like volunteering a lot at a hospital, or, you know, scribing, or maybe you joined a pre-med club and they do meaningful work, and that's something that you think you can really talk about in your application later, and that's something that you really want to do. Don't waste your time on something that you don't want to do. Like, that's something that I had to hammer into my head because I used to think that there were so many things I had to do as a pre-med. Which brings us to our next topic. I mentioned pre-med clubs. Should I join a pre-med club? No, you don't have to, but I do think it would probably be very helpful. The clubs at UCLA for pre-meds actually give a lot of really cool opportunities that you might be able to find on your own without the club. But A, it's gonna be a lot harder for you, and B, you also get friends out of it. However, one thing that I really do hate is how competitive the clubs are. Literally, okay, because I was talking to the grad student that I work with in my lab, and I was telling him about like these like interviews that I had to do for the pre-med clubs that I wanted to join, and he was like, why the F are you doing interviews for a club? He genuinely didn't understand, and I was like, tell me about it. I don't get it either. Trying to join them will feel like doing college applications all over again. And I know that's really gross and not something that you want to hear, but unfortunately, the demand is so high to join these things. Freshman year, I really had to deal with a lot of rejection because there's some clubs that are like open to everyone, but then there's some clubs that provide really exclusive shadowing opportunities, for example, or like volunteering opportunities, and they're amazing clubs, and if you get in, you will be able to do some amazing things. It's the getting in that's the problem. Okay, so I also have this NYX brow glue in dark brown, but yeah, so you're probably gonna run into a lot of rejection, no matter how smart you are, how great you are. I'm sure everybody is a wonderful, beautiful human. And I do think that wonderful, beautiful humans should be able to have these opportunities and continue to do wonderful, beautiful things. It might just not be in the cards for you for one specific club. Don't take it personally. Really don't take it personally. I got so many rejections from pre-med clubs that I applied to freshman year, and I know for a fact it's because I just can't talk in interviews. Like, I run my mouth because I get nervous and I like forget what I was saying and I just like stray off topic, and I really do need to practice how I do interviews, but like I would make it past the written application part and then go to the interviews and lose my shit, and then obviously get the email that said,
unfortunately, we are faced with an extremely large pool of applicants and every one of you is talented, but we can only have so many new people join our new cohort, but please apply again next year.
You know, and I did take it a little personally, and of course I was sad, but I really didn't even have to waste my time feeling like any kind of negative way about not getting into these clubs because things work out. That's what I've realized. Things work out. I was able to get into one. I met the best people. I got to do the coolest things. When things don't work out, keep trying and just use it as a learning experience because everyone is in the same boat. There are thousands of other pre-meds trying to do the same thing, and it's not productive to think about them as competition and then get like scared off from joining clubs or get discouraged. I've heard about toxic pre-med culture at Berkeley, which may or may not be true. That's not true at UCLA. Like, maybe there's some bad eggs out there, but if you run into a bad egg, just stay away. Like, as I promise, there are so many other people worth your while who will help you. People at UCLA are some of the most friendly, amazing, open-minded, well, for the most part, empathetic, like supportive people that you want on your side. And instead of isolating yourself out of fear of competition, like that's so high school. That's so juvenile. Like, don't do the thing where you like hide opportunities that you heard about from other people because you think that they're gonna try and steal it from you. Just help out people. Let other people help you. What I've also started doing is like underlining my eyes a little bit with either a brown pencil liner, or I think I use like this shade on this palette with eyeshadow, but I'm kind of feeling the pencil liner today. I use this to create like a little bit of a crease on my under eye. Not to make it look like I have eye bags, just a little creasy, and I'll make my eyes look a little bit bigger. I smile a little bit, and then I trace that crease, so I know where I'm going. Also, if I'm having a bad face day, if I do this, it'll fool my brain into thinking I'm happy. But in terms of specific pre-med clubs that I would recommend, I love AMWA. That one, you do have to apply, but they don't really do interviews. I think you just apply and you get in. Mobile Clinic Project is a highly competitive one. If you get in, you really, it's a very cool club. Scope PHA, that's the one I'm in. Let's see, Pulse. Pulse is really good for shadowing. There's EMRA. I think it stands for like Emergency Medicine Research Associate. That one I think is the most competitive at UCLA. Oh, in terms of like hospital volunteering, there's care extenders. There's also, this isn't like a UCLA affiliated thing, but you can volunteer at Cedars-Sinai. You kind of have to take the bus there, but that'll get you a lot of good volunteering experience. Anyways, but there's so many others. There's so many other like pre-med clubs and communities at UCLA. I'm gonna go in with this Milani highlighter, the best. I swear by it. Right there. Like I said, pretending that the tip of my nose is in a different place than where it actually is. Flynn, I think it's a K-beauty brand. This like Flynn sparkle glitter thing. Laura and Shweta gave it to me for my birthday. I love it. Okay, and then I think maybe just like some general like class advice. Do not skimp on office hours. I swear to God. Sometimes the TAs are a lot more helpful than the actual professors. And if you realize that your TA is sent from God himself, go to their office hours, like do their practice worksheets. I found that so helpful for OChem because OChem was like a completely different beast that I was not anticipating at all. Honestly good for me, but I hated it in the moment because I thought I was gonna die. When you think that you're dying, reach out for help. Go to your classmates, make friends with people in your discussion sections, cozy up with your TA. Sometimes if the professor themselves is approachable, talk to the actual professor because sometimes they give tips for the tests that you wouldn't actually hear in a lecture. Do all the different TA worksheets, files if you feel like you're really struggling and you need extra practice. Like just exploit everything that you don't think you need, but like you might actually. And then I'm gonna go in with this Ink Velvet Lip Tint stain. It is so pigmented. It's so bright. I literally just like dab it, blend it out. And then I also go over it with this Hydro Shine lip gloss, just for a little extra shimmer. We're back. I went to go eat lunch. I also brushed my hair because I was watching over the little footage that I've already recorded and nobody told me that my hair, like when I would turn like this, nobody told me that it was ugly in the back. Like I had so many little freaking flyaways. My hair got so thin because it's been so damaged from color. I should really give it a rest because my split ends are becoming triple ends. Pretty sure is extremely not healthy. However, I fully intend on dyeing it again. So stay tuned. Literally do whatever with your summer. The point of summer is to like take a break from school. But also, of course, like you kind of want to be a little bit productive with it, especially if you're not planning on taking a gap year. I don't know if I'm going to take a gap year or not. I do know that I'm going to try and study for the MCAT this summer because I kind of want to take it in January so that I'll at least get started on my MCAT early. So if my score isn't good the first time, I have more time to retake it. Do whatever you think will make your summer productive because there's so many things. Like use your summer to do things that you didn't have time for in the school year. You might want like a lot of hospital volunteering hours. A lot of people do like EMT training, like Ranesh and Esther, they did EMT. That's also a great way to get experience in. But also low-key, if there's very hard classes that you know you would maybe struggle in during the regular school year, but let's say for example those classes are offered online in the summer, maybe that might be a thing you want to think about. Work smarter, not harder. Like last summer, for example, I did a little bit of research back at OHSU with the PI that I've been working with since like high school. But it wasn't like serious stuff because there was a lot of hassle like getting my volunteering clearance checked and good. That's another thing. You want to start like applying to labs like at UCLA early because it takes so freaking long to get clearance to volunteer. Like it's so, like there's so many hoops that you have to jump through, especially if you're going to be dealing with mice and like animals, so start early. I ended up taking a summer class that was offered online, which was perfect, and I also volunteered as a scribe at my local free clinic just because I needed a little bit more like volunteer experience. And then this summer I applied for like a paid research internship at OHSU with a different mentor. So I'm making money, which I'm really happy about, but also I'm already like, I'm weak. I went to the mall yesterday and like, these are new. I spent a lot. It's okay, I'm gonna save now. But that ends in August. And then in August, I think I'm gonna take another class online, async. It's gonna be the second class in the biochem series. And I might wanna kill myself, but hopefully it doesn't come to that. And then I'm thinking I might go back to that free clinic and scribe a little bit more because I should have the time. Final thoughts. I love being a pre-med at UCLA. There's definitely drawbacks to it being such a big school, and then there also being like so much demand for limited spots for experiences, but also that is one huge pro. There are so many pre-meds. Most people really want to help you. There's so many amazing opportunities in and out of UCLA. I'm just trying to enjoy right now. And I hope this video helped someone. If it didn't, I'm really sorry. Okay, anyways, hope this helped. Good to see you again. I will be more active here. I won't make promises, but anyways, okay, bye.